You finally push through the last chapter of a dense 300-page book and close the cover feeling accomplished. But a week later, when you try to recall the core concepts to a friend, your mind goes completely blank. To fix this memory leak, many people try to force the process. They download apps or take courses promising to teach them speed reading, claiming they can inhale 500 or even 1,000 words per minute. This chart shows the reality of that trade-off. Cognitive scientists have tested these claims extensively, and the data reveals a direct inverse relationship between reading speed and comprehension. As your words per minute climb past a certain threshold, your accuracy takes a steep drop because the brain lacks the time to process meaning. The optimal zone for actually absorbing what you read is right here, around 200 words per minute. That is the natural speed of an average adult reader. To ensure these ideas actually stick, we need to shift the focus from how fast you can consume text to how effectively you can process it. We're going to walk through a 3-part method to read, synthesize, and systematically protect what you learn from the forgetting curve. First, gather your tools. You'll need a physical nonfiction book, a blank notebook, 2 pens of different colors, and a free spaced repetition app. Step 1 is establishing a strict daily limit. Commit to reading exactly 20 pages a day, preferably in the first hour of your morning before the day's urgencies take over. At an average reading speed, completing 20 pages takes roughly 30 minutes. As you can see, sticking to that pace means you will finish a 500-page textbook in just 25 days. Over a year, that 30-minute daily habit adds up to more than 30 full books. Warren Buffett attributes much of his success to this exact practice, noting that knowledge builds up over time like compound interest. A 500-page book sitting on your desk is intimidating, which often triggers procrastination, but reading 20 pages is a frictionless micro-habit. You sit down, put in your half hour, and you're done for the day. When you sit down for your daily session, never open the book and immediately start reading on page 1. Instead, use a technique called Inspectional Reading, popularized by philosopher Mortimer Adler. Take 3 minutes to map the skeleton of the chapter. Skim the table of contents, check the index for recurring terms, and flip through to read the chapter headings and subheadings. Now, grab your notebook. Take those chapter headers and translate them into specific written questions. If the heading says the Pomodoro Technique, write down what is the Pomodoro Technique and how does it prevent fatigue. Now you begin the active read phase. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Read your 20 pages with a single objective: to find the answers to the questions you just wrote down. Do not fall into passive habits like mindlessly dragging a highlighter across paragraphs. Skimming sentences just to reach the end of the chapter creates the illusion of learning without any actual comprehension. By setting these questions before you read, your brain shifts from a passive observer to an active hunter. You know exactly what information you are looking for, which naturally increases focus. Once your 25-minute timer goes off, stop reading. Physically close the book and set it aside so you cannot copy the author's exact phrasing. It's time to answer your questions using the Feynman technique. The core rule here is to write down your answers using only words that a 12-year-old child would understand. Bad notes repeat jargon. Meditation opens the door between the conscious and subconscious minds. A Feynman translation simplifies, clearing your head helps absorb new info. If you get stuck and realize you can't explain a concept simply, you've found a gap in your understanding. Pick up your second colored pen, reopen the book to find the missing piece, and fill in the answer. Complexity is often a disguise for a lack of clarity. If you can't express an idea in plain English, you haven't truly learned it yet. The final phase is transferring those simplified notes into a digital format. You're going to type them into a spaced repetition application like Anki or Memoring. Avoid the flashcard overload trap. If you copy an entire paragraph onto a single digital card, you will overwhelm your working memory and fail to trigger the recall process. Keep cards bite-sized with clear prompts. On the front, what method uses 25-minute work blocks? On the back, place the simple answer, the Pomodoro Technique. This digital archive acts as a failsafe. It takes the concepts out of your fragile short-term memory and organizes them into a searchable database of knowledge that you can maintain long-term. Think about what you've achieved in just 30 minutes. You've consumed 20 pages of material, translated it into plain English, and archived it for future review. Let the software manage the maintenance. This chart shows the forgetting curve. Spaced repetition algorithms automatically prompt a review exactly when you are about to lose the information. Tomorrow, then in 4 days, then 2 weeks, resetting your recall and strengthening the long-term memory trace. Pick out a nonfiction book you've been putting off. Set your morning alarm 30 minutes earlier and commit to completing your first 20-page habit tomorrow. Reading is only as valuable as the knowledge you can successfully recall when you need it. By shifting from passive consumption to a structured retention system, you ensure the time you spend with a book builds a foundation of usable knowledge.